life update. Number one, I no longer have hair. Uh, let's first talk about the buzzed hair. It's worth it. Like, I definitely kind of nerfed myself a little bit. The long curly hair was definitely the way to go, but for the time being, when I decided to do it, 100% worth it, because literally like a week after, or it's actually like a couple days after I cut my hair, I got sick for like 3 weeks. And you know how it is, how you do not want to do your hair when you're sick. And I did not have to worry about that at all. I literally just woke up and just didn't even have to worry about it. So it's very nice. Just like you wake up and your hair is always there and it's always in place, and it's starting to grow out a little bit, starting to get a little frizzy, and gonna have like the awkward phase. But now my plan is just to grow it out as long as possible, and just kind of see where it goes, because the buzzed hair is nice, but I do miss my long hair. That's for sure. So let's see. Well, I'm broke, so I have about $2 in my bank account, and I'm almost close to maxing out my credit card. I have about like $930 on it, and its max is $1,000. So making my way up to the adult life of credit card debt, or maxing out a credit card, which I do not want to do. Yeah, so I've been unemployed for over a month now. It's a long situation, but finding a job in the big 2026 is impossible. So looking for a job, but I do have a job. I have orientation on Tuesday, and it's a job that I worked at previously, regular minimum wage fast food job, but I'll get the hours, and that's all that matters. It's 10 minutes away from the house. I'll get paid, I can pay the bills, and I won't have $2 in my bank account. So yeah, I am in my studio apartment, and I guess it doesn't matter how much I pay for the studio apartment, but where I live, it costs $962 for a studio apartment, which is a little bit absurd, because the 2-bedroom apartments in my area are like $1,200. So in June, which is when the lease is over, I will most definitely be upgrading to a 2-bedroom apartment, and cross my fingers, a 2-bedroom apartment with a den, because those are also the same price, maybe like $100 more, even $200. And I do not have a washer and dryer, and the den has like the plumbing to do that. Every time I do a load of laundry, it costs like $6 or something crazy. It's like $7. And if I'm doing big loads of laundry, I go to a laundromat, and I will spend like $20 with me and my girlfriend. So even if I paid an extra $200 a month and split it with my girlfriend, it would still be worth having a washer and dryer. Yeah, so I actually don't know where I'm going to post this. Maybe my lifting account. Well, I guess I can give a lifting update, which is nothing. I have not lifted weights in a long time. And the reason for that, the main reason, is I have really bad tension headaches. So yeah, basically my neck will hurt really bad, and it will wrap around and throb in my forehead and behind my eyes. And going to the gym triggered that, because you're obviously, going crazy and you're tensing up your neck. And it's just literally, I said, would I prefer to lift weights and have tension headaches all the time, or not have tension headaches and be skinny? And I chose no tension headaches and being skinny, because that's how terrible it is. Like, a really bad tension headache is easily a 9 out of 10 pain. And the only way for it to go away is popping a lot of ibuprofen, and even then it doesn't work. But I do think I am on the road to solving my problems. I've been to the doctor and he's trying to figure it out, but like a lot of things, I just kind of solve it by myself. Um, Basically, I think it's with my teeth. Like as a kid, I've always had messed up teeth. I've had braces for my entire life, and at the end of my senior year, even after I graduated my senior year, a couple months later, I got my braces taken out, and I have a overnight retainer. Now, I was inconsistent with the overnight retainer, even though you're supposed to do it every night. So I was basically just messing myself up with my teeth, where I would use the retainer to realign it overnight and then not use it. So my teeth would kind of separate out and then realign it and separate, realign, separate. So I've been consistently using the retainer every single night. That way my teeth don't even think to move around at all. And that's weird. I no longer have tension headaches at all, because even when I wasn't working out for however long it happened, I could wake up one morning and just have a terrible tension headache. So I didn't think about it, but the time that I started to get really, really bad tension headaches was in about 7th grade, which is when I was going through all of the braces, tightening of braces. So, I mean, your teeth are connected to all of your neck and your head and your eyes and everything. It's so many nerves in your teeth. So I think I solved the problem. I do need to get my wisdom teeth taken out. And I think once I get my wisdom teeth taken out, that I should be good to go. And when I do have the money, I want to get this thing I found where it's basically like a mouth guard for your teeth, because I do clench my jaw and bite down really hard when I'm in the gym. Like all I'm doing is just really biting down, and obviously that would cause tension headaches. So giving myself a little bit of space with a mouth guard would be the way to go. So that's the gym update, I guess, is, well, in my mind, I'm like, well, should I even be working out if I can't afford the like food, right? Because I have $2 in my bank account, got to eat ramen, got to eat soup, got to eat like, all the struggle meals. So why would I tear down all of my muscle fibers if I just can't even repair them? That's just going to make me sore for like a whole week, and my body's going to be like waiting on me to supplement myself with a bunch of protein, in which I can't even afford to do that, unfortunately. But hopefully when I get the job or when like the orientation starts and I start working consistently full time, I will get back into the groove of going to the gym, which yay, because I really like to do that. Yeah, so I live in New York. Like, it's not like a privacy thing. I live in New York. Not the New York that most people think. I live in upstate New York. So it's like kind of country, I guess. I can drive half an hour and be like really in the country. So don't think that I'm like living in New York City and managed to find a studio apartment for $962, because I think studios there are about like $2,500. So my entire time of living here in the studio apartment, living in New York, it has been a struggle, because I can't find consistent hours anywhere. I need full time, and for some reason, I mean, it's just dead end jobs. They do not give full time whatsoever. So I will work like 20 hours a week. Paychecks will be about like $300 to $350 every week. It's just not enough. So hopefully, I know for a fact that this fast food job that I found will guaranteed give me full time, even more. I want overtime, honestly. Like, give me like 45 hours a week and just let me stack up my money. I don't know if you heard that, but that was a weird honking. Yeah, so I have been enjoying my time in New York. Now, it did get to negative 25 degrees out this morning, and it was like 50 degrees inside of the house, because when you have a studio apartment, things are kind of crappy. So when it's too cold out, the heater just doesn't even want to think about heating up. So you just kind of have to layer up and deal with the cold. So, but yeah, it's funny because I know that down the road, like, obviously things will get better, and I will have more money, and I will be moving on to greater and bigger things rather than a dead end fast food job. Um, so it's kind of like it sucks and it's hard to struggle, but I laugh at it still because I know I will be laughing at it in the future. So, yeah, I am making my own business. Well, it's a part of my dad's corporation. I'm getting a franchise of the corporation because he is like kind of west coast of the US, how he runs his franchises, and now it's my turn to take over the east coast side. So that company can make me a lot of money and income and consistent income. So it's a work in progress. Still getting trained to do it. It's already 11 minutes. What else? School is, well, I took a break this semester from school for financial purposes to just fully get my mind off because I just can't focus if I'm like, I got $2 in my bank account. What the hell am I going to do in school? I just can't. Like, I can't focus. So next semester or whatever it's going to be, this semester is a break. Summer break is going to start. So the fall semester, I think, yeah. I will go back, and that is me getting a associate's degree in entrepreneurial and applied business studies. So good degree to have, especially if I'm doing my franchise. And yeah, what else? I'm just trying to think, if I'm posting this to my lifting account, then what updates would be from there? I guess maybe a question would be I said like it's been over a year since I've been in New York, but after I turned 18, I immediately basically moved out of my dad's house. So maybe some people will watch this video. Maybe I don't know what I'm going to tell this, but maybe people will be like, how is the process like? So basically, it was all spontaneous for me. And that is why I struggle now financially, because I definitely am not able to afford this luxury. Yeah, I mean, what's the rule? It's like 4 times the rent you should have in your account, right? I think it's like, so if it's $962 a month, I should have $962 times 4. And I definitely didn't have that. So I was in New York, I was visiting New York, and I applied to work at a job. And that same day, I think I applied for that job, I also applied for an apartment, the studio apartment, obviously. And I heard back from both of them on the exact same day, both saying yes and yes. So I now just got approved for my apartment, and I just got a job to support that. I literally came to New York without a job and nowhere to go. Like, obviously, there are places I was at. So I actually had a returning flight to New York, and I canceled that returning flight and asked my dad to start shipping out my boxes. Like, I don't know how I got here. I don't know how I survived, but that is literally what happened. It was extremely spontaneous, but obviously it was 100% worth it. Even though I have struggles and whatever, definitely way happier compared to where I was. So yeah, I guess advice to give is, if you are 18 years old, if you just turned 18 years old, and you really, really want out of your parents' house for whatever reason, like, obviously, if it's like a bad environment, like genuinely like a bad environment, like bad things are going down, obviously move out, right? Yeah, obviously move out, and you would be happier. You would be happier financially struggling, I feel like, in your apartment and having your own space compared to being there. But if you're like, nah, I'm kind of thinking about it. I don't know if I should be saving my money. Like, obviously, where I live at my parents' house, it's fine, right? Just stay there. Like, that's my advice. Just stay there. Stay there, work either full time, 40 hours a week, or be like a full time college student or half and half. You could do full time student and then also working part time, whatever, but have something to do and gain experience. Um, but if you're working 40 hours a week, making minimum wage, and you're doing that after you're 18 for a couple of years, you have crazy money stacked for when you want to move out, which literally could be a year, like based on what you are doing for your work. I mean, even if it's minimum wage, you have crazy money stacked up, and I would assume 4 times the rent to move out, which I would abide by that rule and like follow it. So yeah, I would just stay like in your parents' house, kind of like low key. Don't be a bum, obviously. Don't be unemployed and kind of just leeching off of your parents and playing video games all day. Um, your parents should be proud of you if you are working full time, and obviously you can help them financially in terms of like groceries or whatever. Like if I was currently still living at my dad's house, I would be working full time and I would be like giving him a couple $100 for groceries, right? That's just the right thing to do because I'm eating all of his food. So, um, yeah, but definitely I would do like a couple years and stack up money and then move out somewhere. That way you just have a bunch of cushion. Because the last thing you want, I mean, it really depends on your situation, but I feel like the last thing you want to do is be in it. Like, let's say you move in the middle of nowhere, right? Where you have no extra support, right? Because most people are like, oh, I live here at my parents' house, so I'm just going to get a place in that city and town, right? Just away from my parents' house. A worst case scenario for them would be like, crap, I can't afford it. I'm going to go back to my parents' house. But if you are like in the middle of nowhere, and have not that support, well, you're just going to be homeless. Like, pretty much going to be screwed. I don't know if it would be that extent, but like, obviously, I would not be in the middle of nowhere. Funny enough, in New York, I do have lots of support. I actually do have family here. I have family in California and family in New York on opposite ends of the country. Kind of interesting. I didn't even know I had family here until I was talking to my dad about going to New York. And I met them for the first time ever, my New York family in New York, in like October. But yeah, pretty interesting. I'm just saying have that cushion if you're kind of trying to spontaneous it, because the last thing you want to do is like be homeless or can't even afford a flight to leave, or even if you do, you have to like abandon everything and that would just be sucky. I was in a situation recently because this like January, since it's February 7th, January has been the most and the worst month ever in my like New York life. It has been the most I have ever struggled before. It has just been the crappiest. It's been the worst month out of the entire time of me being here. And I almost had to pull an emergency situation to abandon everything I created here and go back to California and live at my dad's house. So, got it figured out. I didn't do it, which is great because I didn't want to abandon everything I worked extremely hard for. Like I'm not like a materialistic person. I would consider myself like a minimalistic type of person, but the studio apartment, definitely I have like an emotional connection to, obviously, because it's my first place and whatever. Like I have a fully owned, paid off old Honda Civic, and in California I was leasing one and sharing payment with my dad, and I have a way closer like connection with the paid off car because it's mine to own, you know what I mean? So it would be terrible. I would just be like living in California, being like, yep, I don't have to pay bills anymore. I have financial freedom. I never have to worry about struggling to eat food again or whatever. But in the back of my mind, I would still be more sad, like more depressed in California than me just being broke here because I abandoned everything. You know what I mean? So yeah, I guess that's like mini advice for any of you young fellers out there. Yeah, I guess just in summary, if you really, 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 really want to, go for it. But maybe consider saving a little bit of money before you make the big move. And don't be spontaneous like me. I mean, I don't regret it, but probably don't be spontaneous like me. And if you actually are being serious and want to move, you should have proper planning and maybe pack your own boxes and ship your own stuff instead of having somebody else do it for you. So, shout out Dad for packing my boxes and shipping them out for me. But yeah, 2026 has been extremely terrible. I'm hoping that I'm getting punched in the face and getting beaten up in the beginning of the year to then have a great rest of the year. And I have a good feeling that is what is going to happen. Just such a weird January month. Just such weird situations happened that just snowballed it down. And that won't happen ever again, I don't think. I genuinely don't think that would ever happen again, based on the job I now have and my girlfriend now has, and I just don't think that situation will happen again. So yeah, I guess that is about it. But I'm saying, like, this month has been terrible, but I still am excited about 2026. Like, hopefully it's just going to be a bittersweet kind of year. Hopefully I know I will stack up money. I will upgrade to the 2-bedroom apartment, which I am super excited for, having my own space, instead of just my living room being also my bedroom and the kitchen being a couple steps away. It's low-key efficient and convenient. Like, I can walk 10 steps from my bed and be in a kitchen and walk another 12 steps and be in the bathroom. Like, it's actually really cozy. But obviously a 2-bedroom apartment is going to be really nice. So stack up money, 2-bedroom apartment, hopefully be able to go to the gym, work out, and get back in that routine that I used to have, and be exciting. Have money to mess around too. I live actually really close to Canada, and I do have a passport, and that's what I want to do this year. It's still extremely cold out here in New York, as I said, but the summertime here is perfect. So I want to be out. I want to be doing a bunch of stuff and having a good time in Canada and exploring more around the area here. There's a lot of undiscovered locations that I have to unlock on the map. So yeah, it's reached 23 minutes now. If anybody actually made it to the end of this video, if I happen to upload it, thank you very much. I appreciate you, and talk to you later.